Scrappin' Abby, and welcome to day 3 of my Trigeminal Neuralgia Awareness Week series that I'm doing here on my YouTube channel. Friday, October 7th is National Trigeminal Neuralgia Awareness. It's always October 7th of every year, and I'm going to go ahead and refer you to watch the intro video that I've already uploaded on my channel to let you know why I'm doing this, in case you're watching this first and out of the series that I'm doing, just so I can kind of keep these videos not quite so long, because I have a hard time, I get real gabby. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is using some different distress sprays and things like that on to this cardstock that's already been like embossed, and I'm going to share with you. So this is something I picked up a long time ago, Heidi Swap. I got it on clearance for $3.49. I can't even remember what store it was. I don't remember, but I've had this for really like at least 2 years at least. Anyway, so these are the different backgrounds, and I'm sorry for the glare. I have my window open this morning, but you can kind of see the different embossing that's already on them. So when you take your different shimmer sprays, you will see this, the pattern, and it like resists. Those are little areas that are embossed to resist it, and it's just really fun. So what I wanted to do in keeping with my TN awareness for the week, because teal is the official color for Trigeminal Neuralgia Awareness, these are the 3 samples I'm just going to be doing for today's video purpose. You can see that there. So all the areas that you see, those are areas that are going to resist the sprays and gelatos, things like that, because I've done that before too. But you can see these 3 different patterns. So I wanted to just kind of share with you how you can take a piece of cardstock like this that's already embossed, or whatever, and you can use it with your different sprays to kind of create a really cool mixed media background that you in turn can put like on a card or something like that. So the different kind of sprays I pulled from my stash, these are from the Marion Smith Color Lab series, and these are the ones that I made per the little recipe guide that came with it. I have Monterey, Aqua, and Cool Mint. The aqua is really super pretty, but I want to kind of play with different hues and tones of teal. And this is, what is this one? Trunk Bay. And this is one I bought from Marion Smith. I bought quite a few actually a couple years ago. She got rid of all her sprays. So that's what this one is here, and that's the sample she put on there. So there's that one. This is one of my second favorites, I think. Probably, actually, let me take it back. I love these 2 together. The one that I like about this better is that it has like a little bit of that shimmer. It's just really super bright teal color, and my daughter loves it too, and I've used this before on many projects for her. So even though this is Heidi Swap paper, you do not have to use Heidi Swap Color Shine on this. You can use whatever sprays or mist, homemade, whatever. That's just the brand. And then I wanted to kind of incorporate, besides just all teal and then obviously the whites, the pops of white, I kind of like that gold look. I really like the tarnished brass, and this is just one of my distress stains from Tim Holtz. So I'm going to be kind of playing with these, and I will film a small part of me doing this. Like I said, I don't want to make these videos too super long, so I'm not going to do like a full-blown tutorial. I can do that later if you'd like. Just comment below and let me know, and I'll do that separately aside from this. But I will show you, what it looks like when you take it and you spray on it. I just need to get my work table all covered and protected, because I have a ceiling fan in my room, and I don't want teal spray all over the place. If it was purple, sure. Just kidding. So I'm going to go ahead and get my area all set up, and then I'll be back in just a little bit and we will get started. Okay ladies, I'm back, and as you can see, I've already messed with a couple of the panels that I was sharing with you. So this is just a combination. Oh, let me back up. Let me share with you the color swatch I did. So these are all of the different colors that I shared with you. Now, this one is not, these 2 here are not showing up as well as they actually would on regular, cardstock or whatever. I had used this to print off some documents, and I am recycling it. So the back side there's ink and some dark print and stuff, so it doesn't look as good as it does if it was on plain nice cardstock. So I just want to throw that out there, because these don't look as representative as they really do look good. So I just labeled each one so I could tell which one was which, because I like to have a visual outside of the bottle, because getting it onto your paper or your medium really is going to tell you the depth of colors and the shine and the shimmer and things like that. And then I just wanted to swatch out the tarnished brass, just in case anybody was curious what it looked like by itself. So I have that, and I typically will do that when I'm working on projects and I'm mixing layers, and if I want to do different hues of light, dark, etc. And just so I kind of have a visual. And then of course I keep those because I'll just use those in other crafting projects or use them as, you know, background when I'm trying to do other sprays or things like that. So this is the one. I love this kind of a hexagon-y look. And so you can see here the shimmer that's in here, that's coming from the Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and a combination of the, what is it, Trunk Bay, is that what it was? Yeah, Trunk Bay from Tattered Angels. And then I just wanted to incorporate some of the tarnished brass. Now, you might be looking at this thinking like, oh, that looks really gross. Sorry. I don't turn off my phone when my daughter's at work, at school, and my husband's at work. I always leave it on just in case there's something going on. So I apologize for that. But anyway, you might be thinking like, oh, I don't like it with those gold things. And you have to understand, this isn't going to be the whole piece. I'm going to be cutting this apart and using it for cards, tags, things of that nature. So it's not going to be a whole section with this much tarnished brass or this. I just wanted to have little bits and pieces of it. So when I cut this down, these for other projects, I'm going to get just the hint of that tarnished brass. I like how it looks. If you don't have to use it, of course. You can use whatever color combination you like. But you can really see how beautiful and shimmery and the different hues and tones of the different colors of teal that I was getting. So this one here is one I just finished, and I love this. I love how when I layered a couple of them, you can kind of see that darker edge, raised edge there. That's because I let the ink, or excuse me, the spray kind of sit on those parts of the cardstock a little bit, and I just like, it almost looks like it's velvet, like you could, you know, it's got like a texture to it. Not velvet, is that what I'm talking about? Suede, that's what I'm trying to say. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. So I thought it was kind of cool. Makes it really look kind of shabby chic like I like, and kind of distressed a little bit. So I thought what I would do is go ahead on the last one, which is the polka dot pattern. I'll kind of do some spray so you can see what it looks like when you're doing it live. And then I'm going to take some of this tarnished brass on this one and just kind of show you how I'm kind of just randomly putting this everywhere. So we'll do this first so I can let this dry while I'm doing the dot one. I'm just going to shake this up a little bit. That over there, and I'll leave the camera where it's at so you can kind of see. I'm not covering up, so I want to be really careful because I did make kind of a boo-boo on this one. You can kind of see here, but I'll be able to cover that up because I'm just going to cut these apart like I told you. You can kind of see the actual circle up from the dauber. While I was doing this, I'm watching, don't laugh, I'm a classic movie fan. I'm watching a Bette Davis interview on Phil Donahue from 1987, and they were showing clips of some of her movies, and when I was daubing, I kind of stopped and I was watching the video. My laptop's right there, so I just want to explain it to you. So you can always cover those up if you just make sure you are not leaving it on there like I did. So just to learn from my mistake on that, but I'll make it into a creative thing. It's not a big deal. So what I want to try to do is kind of accent around some of these areas a little bit darker. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to put it down, and I'm just going to kind of quickly do this business with it, kind of dab, dab, dab a little bit, and then just kind of dab in. And there's no rhyme or reason. It's just, I'm just having some creative play. And I'm just kind of going around. Now I do want to kind of saturate on the edges a little bit because obviously when I cut these down, the edges are going to be you know, part of whatever it is I'm making. I'm not going to worry about the backside getting messed up. It doesn't matter because this is going to be backed against something else. And it's kind of going on the edge here and kind of over there a little bit. I kind of like not to make it too even looking. And then I'll come back over and I'll daub it off with my paper towel. But first I want to get the colors down so I can kind of see where it's at. So just doing this. It's just kind of doing wherever you think you want to put a little bit of this extra color. And, you know, just kind of whatever you think looks fun or good to you. I don't particularly like how these sprays did this part right here. Like I said, I have a ceiling fan on, so I'm learning to adjust with that because it's so hot here in Florida. Even with air conditioning, it's really hot. So I don't like how I can see those little bit of dots. I'm going to kind of cover this up a little bit with just some of this gold, or excuse me, tarnished brass, and see how that looks. So now I'm just going to take this paper towel, which I will keep because I don't want to waste all of this beautiful spray. I'll let this dry, and then it's going to go into my tote that I keep underneath my table with all my leftover pieces and things like this that I use for other projects and things like that. And I'll share that with you in a separate video later on down the road. But now I'm just going to kind of go back over. I want to kind of blot up what's pulling up on the top of the paper. And then once I do that, then I'm going to go back over here and I'm just going to kind of give it a wipe because this is kind of, it is a resist and it does wipe off. Now I'm going to run my heat tool over this, and you can take a baby wipe and run over the top as well to get some of that off. But I'm just going to heat tool this really quickly just so I can kind of show you. I'll just concentrate on one area actually so I don't make this part too long. And while I'm doing this, has anybody else that has this Tim Holtz, or excuse me, Ranger Heated Craft Tool, the original white? I've had mine probably since they first came out, and I bought it at a convention, someplace I wasn't, and it was out of state, and my heat tool actually drops little black things on my projects, and I've taken pictures, and I'm going to email Ranger, and I just don't know why it's doing that. So I just wanted, while I was thinking of it, I just wanted to see if anybody else had problems with their heat tool. I know they have the new ones out with the black, but you know, that started happening like within the first couple of uses of it, and I don't think that's, you know, should have probably happened. And I was lazy on my part, and I just never contacted them, so I don't know if they're going to do anything all these years later. But so I'm going to take a baby wipe, and we're going to see if it kind of wipes up a little bit off that, and it does, you can see. So you see that there? It's picked up, so I'll hold it up here so you can see a little better. So that's a spot right there. I'm just going to take my baby wipe and just simply kind of do this, and you see how it's picking up off those areas where that embossing, or that, you know, the resist is. I just think it looks really cool. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you. And it also makes the parts where you did some staining a little bit darker. So, and I just think that's kind of a cool, kind of an antique, kind of a vintagey look like I like. And I'll just kind of finish this while I'm doing it. And I just think that's really cool looking. So I'm going to come back through and do the same thing on this one, but I'll do it off camera just to not make this too long, like I said. And I always keep my wipes for the same purpose. Once I'm done with them, once they dry, I put them away. And then I come through here and wipe up all my mess off my craft mat. So now we're going to do the polka dot one together, and let's see, I'm going to start with kind of my lighter colors first. That way I can kind of build up my layer. So I'm going to work with the, let's try the Cool Mint first. Just kind of mixing up the order. And I'm just kind of doing this. This is kind of cool looking. I love it already. It's little dots. So I don't want to zoom in too close because I'm afraid of getting any of the overspray on my, up in the air on my camera lens or anything. So I apologize if I'm down further than what you'd like. I just want to make sure I don't glimmer mist my camera. And then I'm just going to kind of dab it up like this. And I'm going to, once I kind of dab up what's left, I'm just going to flip this over and just kind of give it a quick wipe like that. Now you can wipe it off. You don't have to dab it. It's just whatever it is you feel comfortable doing, whatever you like to do. So now I kind of have a really nice base coat of just kind of this, almost like a light blue almost. And now I'm going to come in with, let's see, let's try the Mary Smith Aqua next. And just kind of, and I love these bottles from her in the Color Lab. They're awesome. And I talk about that in the video that I'll put a card up in the camera and, or in the video, I apologize, and a link down below of when I first bought these. And then I'm gonna just take my paper towel again and just kind of come back through. Sometimes I'll let it sit for a minute so it kind of pools and gets a little bit dark. But you know, you can just really play with how you want to build up your different layers and such. So that's just kind of what I'm doing, and just kind of gives it a little bit of dark. And then now we're gonna come back in with some of our darker spray. Let's do the Heidi Swap teal, and then I'm gonna come in with the Mary Smith Monterey next. So you can kind of see here a little bit how I'm kind of making some tonal changes. It's kind of hard to tell, but this is lighter, and then with the difference with that last spray I just used, you can see it's a little bit darker concentration. So I probably won't see as much of a variation on this because most of this is the white resist part, but some of the polka dots will kind of have that gradient of color that I like. So that's kind of, I probably should have done it on this example or something like that, but you kind of get the idea. So, and that's why it's so important to kind of start with your lighter colors first, because if you go with your darker, obviously that's what's going to overtake the background, and you're not going to have any way to bring in some of that white or the lighter color. And let's kind of do that. This is so pretty. I just, oh, I love it. Love it, love it. I'm just tapping this down. It's probably not necessarily going to, you know, like the normal drippage that you do. This is so cool looking. Look at that. Like the normal drippage that you do when you're working on a mixed media canvas or something like that. But I like how that looks. I'm going to take a picture real quick. Just a second. Sorry about that, ladies. I wanted to take a quick picture so I could add this onto my Instagram once I'm done. So now we're going to go in, what did I say? Monterey. That seems to be one of the darker ones colors. And I love how this is, see that? How it's kind of feathering outside of the circle because I let it sit on there for a little bit and then kind of seeped. I like that look. If you don't, you're going to want to dab and wipe it off a little bit quicker than what I did, but I like it. And now we're going to go on here with the Monterey. And this bottom corner here needs a little bit of attention. It's a little bit too light because I really want it, when I cut these apart to make cards or whatever, I really want them to have a good saturation of color kind of throughout the whole thing. So we'll just let that sit there for a second. I'm going to get a fresh little bit of paper towel. And I just use the cheapo ones from the Dollar Tree or Walmart or whatever for crafting. So that's what I like the selected size, because sometimes I don't need a huge big piece. So let's do that. Kind of pat it off a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip this around, and then we'll go ahead and kind of rub off what we can. You can kind of leave some, which I'm kind of doing on purpose because I don't really want that much white space in between all the polka dots for this particular project. If I was doing something a little bit more clean line, like a little bit like a clean and simple, then I would definitely do that. So there's that, and then I'm going to give this a quick dry, and I'll be right back, and we'll put on some more of this tarnished copper, or tarnished brass. This second. Okay, ladies, so I have all of the 3 different pieces of the emboss or resist emboss paper done, and so I dried everything, and then I already went and did the tarnished brass on top of this one because I already shared with you on this paper how I did that technique. And I am just loving how the different colors of teal are popping through here with the hints of the tarnished brass, which really, I mean, it looks, I keep saying gold because that's just what it looks like to me, but I just think it's really pretty. I hope the camera's picking that up. And then this one here, oh, it's so pretty. I love this. Love it. Love it, love it. I'm so glad that teal is the color for TN Awareness because I really like teal. I think it's, of course I prefer for it to be purple, but anyway, so this is really pretty. I just like how these look. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a few projects with these, and then I'll come back at the closing of the last part of the video and share with you what I made to make some projects surrounding teal and TN Awareness and things of that nature. So I will see you in just a little bit. Okay, ladies, I'm back, and as you can see, I have completed the 3 different cards that I made using the Heidi Swap resist paper, and how it looks with all the different sprays and the distress ink that, or excuse me, the distress stain that I shared with all of you in the last video segment. I think these turned out really, really pretty. I tried to really keep these as clean and as simple as for how I craft. Now, some of you might be looking at this thinking like, whoa, that's way too many, you know, different layers and materials and stuff for it to be clean and simple. But for Scrap and Abby's type of clean and simple, this is probably it, because I really like putting on different layers and textures and kind of building the card base up a little bit. But I really wanted to kind of let the message of the sentiment on each card kind of really be the focus, and the teal being the focus, not a bunch of other elements and kind of busying up, you know, what the message I'm trying to portray or the theming for the awareness. So let me share with you each card up close. And again, I just used the, as far as my card base, it is the coordinations that I shared with you in the first part of the video. So this is the hexagonal one that we did together. Or did we do this on camera? No, I did this one off camera. I apologize. But you can see the really different colors and layers of shimmers and the different distress stain that I used on it and the different layers of the sprays. It really adds another level of dimension and stuff to your projects, and I think it just looks really good. And then just to subtly add some pops of teal. Normally I add all kinds of elements in my flower clusters, but again, I wanted to keep it pretty clean and simple for my standards, and then just really let it kind of speak for itself. And I think it's so pretty. And the matting on the inside for all 3 cards is the same, just kind of following through with that same theming of the teal and then the pop of white cardstock to write whatever sentiment I want to whenever I give these out, or if I give these out. So this is another one here, and I wanted to really make this one open this direction, and the reason why is because the way that I cut this sentiment piece out, I really wanted that torn edge because I like that. I didn't want to, when I had it flipped this way, it was covering up too much of the background that I spent that time building up the layers. So this was the best way I could position it and still have visual of some of the more interesting pieces of the back there, the matting piece. So I just love the different layers of texture and shimmer. It's just so pretty. And then I did go around the edges and distress or use my broken china, because that's the closest to teal that I have for as far as like an ink pad, but it mimics teal to me. I mean, this is the stamping right here from that same pad. And what I did is I made sure that I wiped it off with a paper towel before I let it dry with my heat tool, or I dried with my heat tool, because I didn't want the distressed ink to rub off onto the, you know, my hands or whoever's hands, whoever has this, because this part is resist and I didn't want it to rub off. That's why you're not seeing much of the inking on the actual background paper like you do here. For example, you see in the corner here, because this is cardstock, it's not going to slide around, but the resist, I was worried about it coming off. So that's why the two reasons for that. I had to really restrain myself because I really wanted to add so much more than that. I'm like, whoa, Abby, pull yourself back. So I really wanted to incorporate that elastic banding. You'll see this theming on 2 of the cards. I didn't do it on all 3, just 2 of them. But I really, really love how this looks, that gold foil arrow on that white stretchy material, and again the inside is the same, and then there's a little flower cluster I did right there. So just really wanted to kind of keep it as clean and simple as I could. And then for the last one, this one is really pretty. I think my favorite out of all of them is probably this one, but they're all cute though. I think, not bragging, I just think they're cute. So here is the last one, and this is another one of the backgrounds that we did on I did with you on camera. I just wrapped the made it like a little belly band, and just added some of this. It's actually this right here. I picked it up from Walmart or I don't know where, whatever, and I think it's that Red Heart brand or something, and I just use that because I just really like that darker tone of teal. It kind of picks up from the background papers. And then I just strung a few of those seed beads, 6 of them, on some twine that I have, and this is what it looks like in case you're wondering. Not twine, it's like string or whatever this is called. This is actually vintage. This is stuff from my grandma's stash, and it's kind of got a really pretty ombre of like white, like a white, and goes into like a little bit darker blue, but I can really use it to pop off as teal. That way I didn't have just like stark white string, and I really like the color of that too. So, and I just put a simple flower on there. I didn't ink up or stain any of my flowers like I typically do. I wanted them just to be pretty much plain, crisp, and just kind of right there. And then for this one, Celebrate This Life, I really liked incorporating that stamp, or excuse me, the ribbon in teal for trigeminal neuralgia, of course, and I just like how that looks in that corner there. So, and I just stamped the sentiment over top of that once it was dry. And again, that's the inside. So those are the cards, and I hope you ladies enjoyed this day 3 of my Trigeminal Neuralgia Awareness video series I'm doing, and then also the tutorial on how you can use the different resist papers and backgrounds using a combination of your different shimmer mists and sprays and your distress inks and paints and whatnot in whatever color palette that you would like. So these are just really pretty. They make me feel happy, and I like the fact that it's not this bam in your face. This is about trigeminal neuralgia awareness, where it looks like real clinical looking. It's just a really nice subtle hint of teal. And to be honest with you, if I didn't have the ribbon on there as part of the sentiment, these cards could be used for any kind of a purpose, not just to send to somebody as a, hey, I'm thinking of you, support, or whatever, which is fantastic and great. But these are all kind of cards that you can just send off for whatever. But it kind of gives that nod to the teal of for trigeminal neuralgia awareness. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you back for tomorrow, October 4th, which will be day 4 of my week-long series. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Happy crafting, happy scrapping, and happy planning, and a huge welcome to the really good amount of new followers I have on my YouTube channel even from yesterday. So thank you all so much for subscribing to my channel and for coming along on this creative journey with me. And then also, if you're here because of the titles of my videos have been trigeminal neuralgia, I want to thank you for coming to my channel for that as well. Hopefully I can be a support to you, as I have found other crafters online who also have TN that have been a huge support to me. And I do have a playlist about everything around and surrounding my brain surgery and my trigeminal neuralgia journey. I won't repeat it in here again because I don't want to, kind of sound like a broken record, but just to throw that little bit out there for anybody who may be new to my channel and did not know that I have a playlist for about TN and brain surgery, and you just came to this one first because of the title. So thanks so much, everybody. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I tricked you. You thought you were done with me, weren't you? I just remembered as soon as I turned off the camera, I had a couple things I wanted to share with you before I closed out. So these are the extra pieces left over from the papers that I use for the backs of the cards for matting. So these are perfect to use for other projects. I can make them into bookmarks, another couple cards, small cards, whatever, a tag, whatever I wanted to do. But these are just so pretty. I think I love the way those colors turned out. And then the scrap end, after I cut each measurement, I have these little perfect, almost ATC size squares available. So I have a really cool idea for tomorrow's video, which I'm not going to share now because I want to wait until I get it done, and then I might change my mind by tomorrow. I don't know, but I have a really kind of a fun informational way you can use these kind of scraps if you're working on papers like this. And then I also mentioned to you that I was keeping the paper towels when I was sopping up the different sprays in the distress stain. This is what they look like when they're dry. I mean, this is just a cheapo Dollar Tree towel, of course, but look how beautiful all those colors are. And there's this one spot right here. You can see, really see the shimmer. This is so pretty to me. And so this is what the kind of stuff I keep it for this reason, because I can put it into my tote. Like I said, I have it underneath my craft desk where I toss all of my, you know, waste papers and things like that, my drop papers and that kind of stuff, because these are things that you can use on a canvas and as backing on a card, on a layout, whatever, and even the baby wipe. I just think it's really cool looking, and just want to share that with you in case you're wondering, why would you keep your used paper towels? Because they make really awesome backgrounds for other projects, which I've done on my channel as well. So I'm really signing off for now, you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.